Good move or bad move to sign Bell?
Given the running back situation in Kansas City, Skip, I think this is a good move. I mean, if you look at Kansas City, their running game is not what they thought. I mean, Edwards-Helaire got off to that great start on opening night, and since then, Skip, it's been nothing. And if you look at him, Skip, and people are like, oh, he's a Brian Westbrook, he's going to be perfect for Andy Reid's offense. I was like, he's not Brian Westbrook. He reminds you of more Darren Sproles. Skip, he's not a short yardage and goal line back. If you think about this, arguably you could make a case that Barry Sanders is the greatest running back in NFL history. Skip, they took him out in short yardage and goal line because he's not a power back. So, and nobody thinks Edwards-Helaire is Barry Sanders, Skip. So what I told Steve this, I said, the thing that's concerning about me is a short yardage and goal line. Yeah, he's a change of pace. Yeah, but he's more fluff than substance, Skip. He's not a guy that's going to barrel it up in there and, okay, they missed the block and he's going to run over somebody and get you a first down. That's not what he is. And I think Andy Reid has come to the realization that if Le'Veon has anything left, he can really help us. And so the thing is, but short yardage and goal line, Skip, sometimes you just got to plunge it up in there. And that's not Le'Veon. That's not Le'Veon's style. Le'Veon likes to, okay, see it develop. You know, in short yardage and goal line, ain't nothing to develop. You get the ball and you go plow straight ahead. But I do believe he can give them something more than what their current running game is giving them. Because, look, Mahomes is going to be Mahomes. Sammy Watkins is out with that hamstring. Skip, they're going to be able to throw the football. But at some point in time, you're going to have to run the football. You just can't ask Mahomes, as great as he is, to throw it 50 times a game. You're asking for trouble. And Andy likes to run the football. He likes to play action off the run. So if Le'Veon has something left, he can really, really help this ball club. I hope, is that he realized he's at the plate working on his third strike. It ended badly in Pittsburgh. It ended badly in New York. Okay. Skip, Andy Reid was my brother's offensive coordinator, so I know him a little bit. They call him Big Red. If you can't play for Andy Reid, go ahead and leave. You can't play for anybody. You can't.
Okay. So, the day after the Jets cut Le'Veon Bell. We asked a question on this show. Would you want him on your team? And your first answer to me was, I'm good.
I'm good.
Right?
I'm good. I think he works well for Kansas City, but I ain't in the locker room. Me, if I'm in Denver and Le'Veon's the best, no, I'm good.
But it's ironic that you're literally good, you're okay, because this is the team you picked to win the Super Bowl, right? So all of a sudden you're saying, well, I'll relax my restraint here, right? Okay, because it's my Super Bowl pick, and you see that after Jerry Jones just raved about, we wanted to take Clyde Edwards-Helaire. That's after game number one when he went 25 carries for 138 yards against the Texans on opening night. Jerry, you've been watching lately because his yards have shrunk and shrunk and shrunk. There are a lot of, like the next game against the Chargers, 38 rushing, 32 catching, and just kept going, and it hasn't been impressive. Worse still is that 7 times inside the 5-yard line, he has touched the football, either running or catching it, and he has not been able to get it in the end zone. So they're saying, we need a banger back. We need somebody with some clout, literal, some physical clout to get it in the end zone. I am a big fan of Damian Williams. I don't know if people even know who he is, but he played at the University of Oklahoma. And when he came out in that draft, I was just saying, I want that guy on my team. And I don't know how these numbers flew under the radar in this last Super Bowl, but while Patrick Mahomes was winning MVP, Damian Williams went 17 carries for 104 yards and a touchdown, and he caught 4 balls for 29 more yards and another touchdown. Well, listen, those are MVP-type numbers.
And that big run that broke that ended the game.
I know. And you could make a case, well, was he right in the conversation for MVP?
Absolutely,
he was.
Yes.
Damian Williams opted out because of COVID-19 and because his mother, who has been his rock his whole life, has stage 4 cancer. So he said, I just can't risk this. I want to be with her. God bless her and him. I'm knocking on wood for both of them. He's gone for the year. So they scored with the draft pick, and it looked like it would put them over the hump. And again, I still love Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm not going to discount who he is. He's just a rookie. He's trying to find his way, and they're trying to figure out how to utilize him the best.
But, Skip, it's hard to be a banger when you 5'7", 200, 205.
I got it. So all of a sudden you say, can this be the new Patriot locker room? Can Patrick Mahomes have such presence and power as a player and a leader of that team that he can exert his influence on Veon to say, hey, here we do it this way. It's Brady-esque.
Yes.
Where in this locker room, we all sacrifice for the good, the greater good of the whole, right? Well, can he drive that point home? Maybe. I don't know. Is he old enough? Is he experienced enough to be the leader of that locker room? Maybe. He may have come of age to that point. And then Honey Badger on the other side, he has definitely come of age enough to be able to say, Veon, we got to do it this way.
I think the best guy to do that is the offensive coordinator, Eric Veon.
Well, he played the position.
EB played the position. EB is fiery.
Yeah,
EB
he
can
is.
say, bruh,
all right,
this is how we do it here.
That's fair. That would work also. Okay. And I think Andy Reid has a strong personality, even though he has been known from the start as a player's coach. He
is.
To a fault. In Philly, life was easy. They didn't practice hard. They didn't weight lift hard. They didn't condition hard. It was just, let's do it the nicest way possible. And sometimes it worked pretty well. And Andy, with those hybrid kind of backs, going back to, you mentioned Brian Westbrook or LaShawn or Jamal Charles or these kind of backs, he's had success with them. Okay, here's my issue with Veon. He has become more trouble than he is worth. 2017, monster, just off the charts, dominating back. Since then, not so much.
No.
2 years with the Jets, he averaged 3.3 yards per carry. That's 51st of 53 qualified running backs over that period of time, over a year and what are we, a year and almost a half. Not good enough. So I saw a stat this morning. He scored one every 34 times he touched the ball as a Steeler. He scored one every 84 times he touched the ball as a Jet. So it just wasn't working. Has he run his course in this league? You certainly can't argue that his body's used up because he ought to be pretty fresh.
He should be very fresh. Skip, I think the thing is, and people say, well, the Jets aren't any good. Well, he went there to make them better. He knew what he was signing on with. He knew he wasn't going to a team that was a Super Bowl title contender. He went there because they offered him the most money. And if the Jets weren't good, his job was to make them better. And he didn't do that. So Veon gets some of the responsibilities.
And remember, that was 4 years, $52 million. I think the guaranteed was 20.
He got like $27, $28 million thus far.
So he's doing okay.
Plus the thing is, Skip, he's on a week-to-week basis. He act up, we can cut him, no harm, no foul. We not tied to him. It's not an anchor around us that he's going to pull us down. You misbehave, we're going to just move on.
Okay, what has been his biggest issue? It's social media, where he can't help himself on social media. He fires back at his GM or his head coach or anybody who crosses him. You can't do it.
You can't.
So I'm going to be watching carefully. Will he be able to stop that sort of social media misbehavior? And again, he wants to have a second career as a rapper. I got no problem with that, but you got to focus. This is championship football. You have now joined the defending champs. Right?
Yeah, and he's expected to be an addition, not a subtraction.
Yep. That is true.
So,
okay, just me, I wouldn't have messed with my locker room chemistry because it won a championship last year. What are they, 4-1? So they haven't played great football, but they still got a great chance to go win a second Super Bowl.
Sometimes
I wouldn't have messed with it. But that's just me.
I wouldn't have either, but sometimes teams get desperate, Skip, and they'll do things like this. You look at your Cowboys, and they have if they were to sign Earl Thomas, I don't really think anybody would bat an eye, considering how porous they are in the secondary. But Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones said,
That's just pure desperation.
Think about it.
I don't know that Kansas City is desperate to have another running back.
Well, I think the thing is, Skip, is that given where they are running the football, now they thought they had this problem solved after week 1. After the Houston Texans, like, okay, we good. And then, as you mentioned, averaging 51 yards a game running the football with 0 touchdowns since game 1.
0. Yep.
Not good. And it's like, we got to make some changes. And Veon came available, decent price.
So do you feel better or worse about your Super Bowl pick?
Skip, offensively is not my concern with this team. It's defensively. is their inability to stop the run, their inability to cover anybody downfield. That is my concern.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.